Welcome once again to Breakfast Central. I am seriously wondering how many more days we would have to go without talking about Lionel Messi. But unfortunately, it's still in the news, and we have Udoka Onjoku joining us this morning to share with us what's the latest in sports. Good morning, Udoka.
Good morning, Sarge. Good morning, Olive. We'll keep talking about Lionel Messi until the end of the year.
Haven't I suffered enough?
I don't know if you saw Sarge's rant. He went on social media to rant about how people should help him and send funds because he's been traumatized. Every day, Messi this, Messi that, Messi this. My thoughts and my prayers are with you, Sarge.
I'm one of those people who actually didn't want Messi to win the World Cup. And afterwards, I felt very bad. Why would I even wish Messi bad? This was his last tournament, and he wanted to win it. This was the only trophy that has eluded him for years, and finally he got to win it. And you could tell the emotion that actually went through Lionel Messi and the whole of Argentina and the whole football world. So I think we should just cut them some slack and congratulate Lionel Messi. He is now the greatest of all time.
You should put your hand on your chest and say to yourself, I am not a witch.
I am not a witch.
That's a good one. And congratulations. Congratulations to Lionel Messi. Did you see the photo that he posted on his Instagram? It's become the most liked photograph on Instagram of a sports person, surpassing the picture of him and Ronaldo playing chess that Ronaldo posted on his page. So congratulations to him.
Congratulations to Messi. And still talking about Messi, now on the bad side, the International Sports Press Association, the AIPS, has demanded apologies from Lionel Messi and the entire Argentina football team for insulting journalists after the South American side won the World Cup on Sunday with a penalty shootout win over France. Messi and the other players sang obscenities at the official mixed zone aimed at the sports journalists who were there for quick interviews. In a statement issued on Monday by the AIPS president Gianni Merlo, he said Messi should apologize on behalf of the team for the song in which he and his teammates insulted journalists. Now, Merlo said Messi may be a lauded billionaire, but has to respect those who have also contributed with their enthusiasm and no self-respect to creating his myth. He added that in addition to being great players, they should also be role models in life because they have become rich thanks to everyone who made it possible, talking about the journalists now. Still talking about the World Cup now. Runners-up France and the manager Didier Deschamps have returned to a hero's welcome in Paris after agonizingly missing out on the World Cup. Despite the loss to eventual champions Argentina, around 50,000 fans gathered to give the players a welcome worthy of them winning the prize as the squad were offered countless well wishes. The Le Bleu lost 4-2 on penalties to champions Argentina after playing a 3-0 draw during regulation plus at a time. Kylian Mbappe and teammates landed at the Charles de Gaulle airport from Doha, and smiling airport staff members holding signs that said "Thank you" and "Paris loves you" were passed without acknowledgement by the team. Quite a sad one because the French players were not so excited on returning to a base for not winning the World Cup. But they finished second, and they should hold their heads up high for giving a good performance right there in Doha, Qatar. All right, looking at the Nations Cup to happen in 2025, Nigeria and Benin have submitted a joint bid to host the AFCON in that year. Now, they joined Algeria, Morocco, and Zambia in expressing an interest in hosting the finals. Three-time African champions Nigeria are looking to stage the tournament for the third time, having co-hosted with Ghana in 2000 after being the sole organizers in 1980, while Benin has never staged a major continental competition. Nigeria and Benin would have to work hard to convince the Confederation of African Football inspecting teams set to tour bidding countries from the 5th of January to the 25th next year of their seriousness to replace Guinea. Designated host Guinea was stripped of their rights earlier this year because of concerns over infrastructure and facilities. The criteria required by the African ruling body, CAF, to stage the event include a minimum of 6 stadiums, 2 of which must have a capacity of at least 40,000, while the other 4 need to be able to accommodate at least 20,000. And to Kenya, they are still in trouble when it comes to doping offenses. Now, 3 athletes have been banned for a collective period of 8 years after breaking anti-doping rules. The Athletics Integrity Unit banned marathon runners Alice Jepkemboy Kimutai and Johnston Kibe Mayo for 3 years and sprinter Mark Otieno for 2 years. The 29-year-old Otieno, who tested positive for a banned anabolic steroid moments before the 100-meter heats at the Tokyo Olympic Games in the year 2020 will have his ban backdated from the Games and end in July 2023. Suspension for November's Porto Marathon winner, Kimutai, who tested positive for the male hormone testosterone, began on the 16th of November, while Mayo's ban started on the 20th of July for returning a positive test for EPO. Now, Kenya avoided the sanction by governing body World Athletics in November, despite having 55 athletes serving suspensions after committing to spend $25 million over the next 5 years to combat doping. And that's a wrap on sports updates from me, Udoka, on Breakfast Central. Back to you, Olive and Osaroge.
Thank you very much. Always a little shocking hearing about Kenyans or East African, long-distance runners still having doping issues. Because you normally, if you grow up watching the Olympics or athletics, you normally would just expect that these people are born with some superhuman strength and they would never, for any reason, need to break any laws in doping.
It's quite sad when it comes to the Kenyan athletes trying to use performance-enhancing drugs to win races. Like you rightly said, when we were younger, we used to see them winning effortlessly. Not just Kenyans, now the Ethiopians as well, winning effortlessly when it comes to long-distance races. And now the athletics unit is beginning to look deep into the Kenyan athletes, and they've discovered that a whole lot of them get to use these banned substances. And they were at risk of being banned, or rather suspended from participating in athletics events in November. But of course, they escaped that one. And the new Sports Cabinet Secretary, Namwamba, has said that he's going to battle everything that has to do with doping in Kenya to ensure that whatever competition that they get to perform, they would actually have a clean slate in that one. No sign of doping, no sign of drugs in their bloodstream. But it is quite disappointing to see the Kenyans suffering from this now. Africa as a whole as well.
Well, I mean, there's so much that they need to do. We're tired. We don't want to keep seeing them. There's so much, so much of these athletes that we don't want the stories that are making the news to be the stories of doping ban. I'm hoping that they'll do better. But I cannot wrap up this conversation without talking about, Messi. And interestingly, what's happened with the journalists. Osaoge, this should make you happy. They've asked for an apology from Messi because, they were insulting to journalists.
Look at what happened.
I think the name is just making me, I'm just tired of hearing the name.
Yeah, you're tired of hearing the name.
But let me be honest, and this is, as a fair and a good sportsman also, I genuinely do not feel bad for Lionel Messi winning the World Cup. I celebrate, him also winning the World Cup. I'll celebrate it also because he has always wanted, that to be part of his achievement. So I honestly feel good for him. It is just a part of every sports person to want to have the banter flown in their direction. Unfortunately, it didn't get to flow in my direction, and that's why I've been a little dramatic about it. But I genuinely feel joy for Lionel Messi, and I wish them well. And once again, and this is my point, and why, or maybe one of the reasons why it's easy for me to feel this way towards him, is because I've genuinely never seen that there has to be one greatest of all time. These two players have been superhuman all through their careers. And I do not believe that we can, put one against the other all the time. We can actually give both of them their equal celebrations and whatnot. So there's no one GOAT in my books.
And I wonder what the relationship of camera looks like.
I think that conversation should actually be dropped now, the comparison between Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. And like from the reports that we saw for the Argentines insulting the journalists, there was time we had a program here, and my guest said it was more like journalists tried to bring out stories from Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. Allow these guys play football. And when you keep writing negative comments about Messi, that he insulted Louis van Gaal and all of that, he doesn't know how to play football. He scored more penalties than Ronaldo in this tournament, and he doesn't deserve to win the MVP of the tournament. Come on. It's emotions. He's bound to react to journalists that way. So I think we should actually drop that conversation. Messi now has been crowned the greatest of all time. And for Ronaldo, he hasn't won the World Cup. So that'll be the next conversation. And I'm sure he's not going to win it because this happens to be his last World Cup with Portugal. So we should actually allow these guys and leave Lionel Messi as the biggest goats. And some other people.
I wonder what this, might mean for their relationship off the pitch and off screen.
They are good friends. They are good friends.
And I hope that they continue to be so.
Messi and Ronaldo. We're tearing our shirts for Messi and Ronaldo.
Thank you so much, Udoka, for bringing us all the sports updates. We look forward to seeing you around again.
Thank you very much.